Hello and welcome back to the BoozleBox. This is Alpha 21, and this time the devs have decided to introduce the silent killer into your prisons. Basically, drugs. Drugs and narcotics. They've actually implemented it instead of it just being a contraband the prisoners can have. They can now actually use drugs, gain addictions, and all sorts of things can happen. Mostly puke or death. They're kind of two of the main things that drugs can cause. Now, I've been running the prison for a while, and hopefully we have some addictions forming in the prison that I'll be able to actually show you what this is all about. I'll just quickly read what they've actually added. So prisoners can now take drugs, which are typically smuggled through the visitation areas or any of the areas which you go onto the contraband list and you can find booze or narcotics, which is mainly through visitation. So if you want to kind of stem the flood of drugs into your prison, then a good idea is to have a metal detector outside visitation or outside the front of your prison, because new prisoners can simply just bring them in, which is devious and cunning, but you can just easily thwart them by sticking a large metal detector in their face. Although drugs are actually not metal, but I'm not going to go into that. Right. Addictions get stronger each time a prisoner uses a drug, which means it's then harder for them to stop using the drug and more likely for them to want to go on a riot or do something. And you'll also see them wiggling around or doing stupid things like bouncing into walls. That tends to be more for the when they're intoxicated with alcohol. Now, we should actually be able to find an alcoholic, because I believe we've got 2 alcoholics and 2 drug abusers. The type of drugs that people can abuse are heroin, cocaine, and alcohol. They are the 3 that are currently implemented. Prisoners will go into withdrawal if they do not have their drugs fix quick enough, or their, their slosh of booze from, I don't know where they get it. They might be brewing it as hooch in their toilets, or, I don't know. I don't want to think about it, to be honest. Toilet hooch? That, ooh, no. Can you imagine the taste? No, I'm not even going to think about it. No, moving on. All drugs have a chance of causing an overdose, bar alcohol. Alcohol doesn't, which is lethal unless immediately treated by a doctor. So you have to look out for... It's like the normal drug symbol. If I just get one up. There's a drug symbol. No, it's not. Well, there is a drug symbol, but it's not the one I wanted. There it is. Right. There's one on its own. It's this one, but it's kind of orangey with a ring around it, and it's like when you have a riot starting and there's incidents occurring. It's like that, and it'll pop up and it'll be like a little drug symbol and it'll be going, someone is dying of an overdose, and then you have to manually go and select the doctor and run them to that prisoner. There are 2 ways you can prevent drugs addictions taking hold, or alcohol addictions, and they are with the 2 new reform programs. That's why I got the big programs tab up here, with methadone program or the Alcoholic Anonymous program. Now, for the Alcoholic Anonymous program, you need a common room. I've set one up down here with a nice little ring of chairs. My security camera has decided to face the wall because it just can't face life today and is very depressed. We'll fix you later. And your psychologist will come and sit in the little chair in the ring, and they'll all talk about happy things and, you know, their addictions and all of that kind of stuff. It's all very, very legitimate and professional. And yeah. And the methadone program needs a infirmary with some doctors, as it's through chemical anti-addiction. I can't think of the word at the moment. It's like when you have to put a nicotine patch on if you've smoked and you're trying to, you know, lose the addiction. So, that is the 2 ways. I can start these 2 programs, methadone addiction, and we can find the people that are on them. If I pause the game, so they don't actually receive any treatment, which is kind of cruel, I know, but... Right, so, we want to find you. Where are you? Ah, Hawkins, there we go. And you can tell he's kind of addicted to drugs, because he's just simply blurting out the word drugs. And also, this is sick, and this is what he is doing. He is puking everywhere, which is kind of... gross. You can find out if he has got an addiction by looking at his health tab down there. You can see it says 1 active addictions. And yeah, if the methadone program was there, he would go and attempt to pass it, and then he would be free of his drug addictions and wouldn't want any more drugs. And you can also tell there he is intoxicated with drugs. Now, also with the booze, it's the same kind of story. Alcoholics Anonymous. Where are you? I know this person, but I can't see him. Is that you? No, no, no. No, apparently you're there. Are you it? Ooh, new person. Yeah, he is. He's an alcoholic. Well, there you go. He is also intoxicated. There we go. Right. Okay. Brilliant. So there are the two new reform programs. Prisoners will actually want drugs if they're bored or, you know, they haven't got enough family or recreational time, that kind of thing. Prisoners who refrain from taking drugs for long enough will get withdrawal symptoms, so they'll start puking and being very ill and all of that fun stuff. But they can eventually go cold turkey and lose their addictions. Now, you can do that by simply just locking them up in their cell, which is a new feature. You can now manually punish people in either lockdown or solitary for an amount of hours. So if someone's got an addiction, you can just send them to solitary for 24 hours continuously until they've lost their addiction. So that is one way of dealing with it. Otherwise, you can just put a load of metal detectors all around, which is what I had, and it'll find the contraband. Or sniffer dogs. I found that was a really good one. Because I just have sniffer dogs going around these little outer circuits and they're constantly picking up the drugs. But they have also been reduced, the amount of drugs they can actually detect, so that is something to take into consideration. There is a new advanced regime control, which is freaking awesome. I've wanted this for bloody ages. You can now split your regime between minimum, normal, and max sec prisoners. So what I've done is I've forced my maximum security prisoners to do more work and have less sleep. But, you know, I thought that was acceptable-ish. And obviously the minimum sec only have to do a little bit of work and they get more free time and they get more sleep. And it's a bit of a less harsh experience, which is, you know, that's kind of how it should be. Well, maybe actually the minimum sec should get the really harsh experience because then they'll be less likely to reoffend. But who knows? It's up to you to decide. But all you have to do is select the thing you want and then just click it. Nothing is now called lockup, so it's easier to understand what it is. It basically means the prisoners have to return to cells, although I still haven't used it anywhere, but I might. Maybe. I don't know yet. Anyway, other than that, we have a new language selector on the main menu. If I go here, main menu here, you click on that. It shows you all of the active language mods on the Steam Workshop, which you can select and change, and then it changes that little flag up in the top corner there for whatever language you're using, which is useful because you can do that whenever in the game and it'll just change the language. I'll just click a random one now. Pirate Architect. Wow. Let's click that one. Is this any good? I don't know. Downloading. And you can see that that worked perfectly well and caused absolutely no bugs or anything. Right. Hold on. And as you can see, we now have pirate language, so terms and conditions. I am terrible at pirate, but, you know, so prisoners arriving and ye staff members be exhausted, Captain. That kind of thing. Don't ask me to do a pirate accent. I'm not good at it. But that gives you the general gist of the whole pirate language, or just the language selector in general. Can we go back to English, please? I don't want to read pirate no more. There we go, and we're now back in English. So that is the language selector. That's very useful. Drugs found. We've discovered you. The last major thing that has been added is the new surrender feature, which means during a riot, prisoners are now able to surrender instead of just getting their heads shot off when the free fire button is activated. There have also been a few little tweaks, like words no longer overlap and all that kind of things, and some of the fonts have changed sizes in the menus and reports and thingies, which is all good. There have also been a few other bugs fixes which I can run through. Bank loans no longer count against you in the consideration of bankruptcy, so you can now get a bank loan to escape bankruptcy if you want, instead of it forcing you further into bankruptcy. Army trucks are no longer stuck on locked road gates. Nutritional policy has been moved to the policy window instead of on the regime list where I believe it used to sit, so it's now on policy down here, so you can change the milk quality and things from policy. Last but not least, one of the quite nice features actually that's now been implemented is the clone tool. It has been doubled for the amount of size of cloning that you can actually do. So if I just go here, and you can now clone 6 bits instead of just the no, 12 bits. 12 bits instead of the usual 6 bits. There we go, that's right. That just makes it a little easier to clone long corridors like that. Okay, brilliant. That is all for this alpha. It's relatively short and sweet alpha update, but it's added some features that might complicate some stuff in your prison. The next update, I believe, is just bug fixes, so we'll have to see what they fix in that. Hopefully they get rid of some of those little annoying things where, I know, all the sprites turn into just black squares. But we'll have to see. So, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and favorite. And I will see you next time. Bye!